What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility, and where SoundHound might go from here. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound for the last week did go down roughly 35%. So not all that great, but then again, the broader market was kind of stuck in limbo. Even Friday had a significant pullback, prompting SoundHound to go down 6.19%. A lot of people have different viewpoints on what is coming this week. Some people are saying that it is going to have a very nice epic rebound. Others are saying single digit. So I wanted to go over everything, but this upcoming week is going to be a fairly volatile one because you do have a lot of key data. So Monday is going to be more of a reflection on what happened last week. So I think in reality, Monday is going to be more of a recovery, but Tuesday, you have PPI. So forecast right now is 0.3. A couple of Fed speakers throughout the week on a side note, kicking off on Tuesday. But Wednesday is going to be the absolute detrimental day because CPI. So when it comes down to this last little bit, a lot of people have been chattering about inflation. Even the Feds recently did state that they see inflation moving up to, I think it was like 2.5% in 2025. So an increase of what they previously forecasted. This is going to be the very first inflation data point since Powell stated that. So when it comes down to it, this is going to move the market dramatically. So potentially have the ability to really push a lot of growth stocks higher or signal a obviously significant pullback. So that's going to be coming out on Wednesday. Then you have Thursday retail sales, then the typical initial jobless claims and so forth. And then you have Friday. So in reality, there's also going to be like bank earnings. Bank earnings are going to be commencing on Wednesday. So that does cause a lot of volatility. So dependent on what they give for future guidance as well, that is going to be kind of really torn apart by the broader market. So I think the market right now is truly, ever since the S&P hit 6,000, the market's been looking for fault. So if bank earnings, let's say a lot of them as a consensus, fail to give good future guidance, more specifically JPM, then the market is going to really push back. So Wednesday is going to be a key day because of bank earnings kicking off and also CPI. So what does that all mean for SoundHound? That means with a lot of volatility, shorts are going to be fairly active. So just based on Friday, shorts did increase net 379,000 shares. So going into this upcoming week, 25.88% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 85.17 million shares. So it is kind of interesting the fact that if SoundHound goes up, if it goes down, shorts seem to not give two craps. They just keep on holding. So yeah, I think in general, they will really react to a lot of the data points this upcoming week. So Wednesday is going to be a key one. And so when it comes down to Monday and even Tuesday, it is going to be very much linked to the technicals. So SoundHound's technicals don't look all that great. So recently it did break below that ALMA as well as that super trend right here. So going into this upcoming week, you kind of have the algorithms really working against the SoundHound, and you kind of see that very apparent. For instance, Friday. So Friday, you had a lot of big money buying, as I brought up in my video. I know it kind of doesn't make sense, big money buying, but it still went down 6%. That's literally the power of algorithmic trading. So it's kind of, SoundHound's going to be fighting upstream, if that kind of makes sense, for this week. So it is going to be fighting against the current. One key point to really hold is going to be that 50-day moving average, which is at $12.46. Flip side, next strong kind of point to get over to really continue this trend up is that ALMA, $16.16. So that's some kind of parameters to really watch for. Aside from that, looking over here with it at 1409, it is kind of trading between this S2 and this S3. So 1207 is going to be the next strong support. So that 50-day moving average is in between that. $16.56 is going to be that next strong kind of resistance slash target, which is very close to that ALMA. So in my opinion, based on at least the options, it does show that there is a little bit of optimism for it to really move higher. So this is kind of this right here. So looking at the volume call options, so you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $16 range for the end of next week, so January the 17th. There isn't anything planned associated to SoundHound, so it is going to be basically everything that I kind of talked on. That is going to be some of the moving points, unless SoundHound obviously puts out a good piece of news or something like that, that could really drive the price higher. But it is going to be more linked to just the options, technicals, and then shorts are going to continue to do its thing. So you have a good consensus for it to kind of have a nice recovery. Flip side, you also do see a consensus for it to be really breaking below that 50-day moving average, which right now is kind of pointing for it to be sub $12. Take the time this weekend to research options. I did I launched a Discord completely free, so you can kind of take a look at that in the description below, and also I'll put it in the comments. So pop over there. We kind of been talking a lot about options. A lot of people have a lot of questions, and so essentially it's kind of crazy. There's so much blood in the market, but nobody's really thinking about a true recovery. So let's say even this upcoming week, sometimes short-term options aren't for everyone, but let's just assume that you feel that it is going to recover. You're basically paying 20 cents for, let's say, an $18 strike price call. So let's say CPI and everything goes better and it gets above that ALMA. Well, we've seen in the past, like SoundHound, when it wants to move up, it moves up very, very fast. So you kind of have to follow the whole rule of thumb that you buy when there is a lot of blood. And yes, based on the technicals and the data points, SoundHound could potentially continue to go down. I wouldn't say single digits, but at the same time, it does have a very strong possibility of reversing and really going up. So let me know your viewpoint on all of that. So kind of go over to the Discord. Like I said, it's completely free, and there's a lot of good individuals on there that you can kind of all learn about options and stuff like that. But this is where you can kind of step up your investing game, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. As far as my true thoughts on SoundHound, I think that what happened on Friday was a very large overreaction, and so Monday, Tuesday, you're going to see a nice recovery, potentially even testing that ALMA, going into CPI. Logically, I see it coming in line with expectations, and that might prompt a kind of a push higher. A lot of people are assuming that it's going to be coming in higher and hotter than anticipated, because of what Powell recently stated. So I think that the market is just overreacting and that you are going to see a nice recovery. I'm not here to say that you're going to see $25 this upcoming week. It is most likely going to be gradual, but at the same time, I'm cautiously optimistic about SoundHound. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.